The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Insights. I'm your host, Lindsay Idaluca. This week's edition, we're going to be talking to some of the Rogers City Council candidates, and today we're sitting with Bill Stipek. Thank you, Bill, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And Bill, can you kind of tell the community a little bit about what your main stand is, what you hope to change in Rogers City?
Well, what I hope to change is to get the community more involved in the decisions being made by the City Council, maybe canvass some additional citizens, and then also, implement some of their ideas. With all government, I believe it's just representative of the people. I really think that getting the people's opinion as to what they want and how they want to go about doing it is paramount to a successful City Council or any local government.
Absolutely. And if you were to be elected onto the City Council, what would that be your first plan of action, or is there something else that you would like to focus on first?
Well, currently right now the hot issue ticket in Rogers City is their water bill and the increase of that in order to pay some borrowing that the city had done. I think that's just one issue in regard to the budget itself, the entire budget. So what I would like to do, if I was to be elected, is to review the entire budget, see where we can save, and make sure that we are doing everything we can to save the taxpayer some money, and then implement any ideas or savings that we can and see how we can pass that on to the taxpayer.
Okay.
The water bill itself, obviously, we've already done some borrowing and we have to pay it back. So the water bill as an issue is really, a done issue. We have to pay it, so there's no getting around that. So really just, getting in touch with the people, let them know what's really happening within our community and get their ideas as to what they would like to see and how they would like to handle it.
Okay, and a little bit touching upon the water bill, you said obviously that the city's already borrowed the money, you need to pay it back. Mm-hmm. Do you have any ideas on to how to tighten the budget?
Well, preliminary, going through line item by line item, there are some issues, and they're just small issues in regard to how much we're spending on each line item within each department. I'd really like to get in contact with each department head and sit down and find out where we can save. Obviously, no department heads like to save or, give up any money.
Absolutely.
So if that's the case, maybe just a blanket 5% decrease across every department would need to be implemented in order to save the people some money and stop going to the people as a open checkbook.
Absolutely. And regarding the people, what do you hope to build, not necessarily build, but community-wise? How would you like to build up Rogers City, see more tourism, build the city?
Well, one idea I've had for Rogers City, and I've discussed this a couple times with people, is during the Nautical Fest they have what is called I believe it's a 10K run that they do. Mm-hmm. I would like to expand on that 10K run and possibly turn it into a Tin Man contest, and that will open it up to a lot of other athletes and possibly bring some in. I've talked to a gentleman last summer that was down at the marina, and he was in a wheelchair, and when I was talking to him about these ideas, he told me that it was a big thing right now for Paralympics, to have handicap athletes come in and they'd like to compete. Rogers City has a beautiful bike path and beautiful beaches. You can run and bike and swim and create that and generate a lot more people coming in the community during the Nautical Fest and expand and highlight some of our attributes that we have, which is the bike path and the beaches. So I think initially that would be a large, boost for the Nautical Fest. And then once you get those people in there, they realize what Rogers City has to offer.
Absolutely.
They come back and the word gets spread. So that would be number one, first thing I would do is talk to the Nautical Fest committee and see if we can implement that somehow, some way.
Okay, and in regards to the people, again, of course, do you have any plans in mind, not only for bringing more tourists in, but how about the people that already live there and job creations?
Well, the people that already live there, like I said, I would really like to create some type of address list in order to canvass the people as to what their ideas are. If you go out there in the community and you talk to people, there are a ton of good ideas out there. But for one reason or another, maybe they don't want to come to the council or whatever, they never really get talked about or brought to light. And ask the people what do they believe is the problems, and try to solve that. Again, I'm a firm believer in government representing the people. So if you're not out there talking to them and you're just going along, then obviously you're not doing your job. So create an address book with people that are interested and have good ideas. Build your contacts within the community, and as a group do it. Bring in more people. Find out how to create a better environment and become more attractive to local businesses or businesses that are looking to expand, and how we can help them do that instead of setting up road bump after road bump for them. Assist them getting started. So.
Okay, and shifting gears a little bit, we only have a couple minutes left, but from the people, to the council itself, what problems do you see in the council that you would like to fix? Just finding, again, and different solutions, and instead of just continuing to rehash the same things you've been doing over and over, because obviously it's not working. So, and implementing the people's will is what I want to fix. Getting their ideas and making sure that you implement those ideas and explain to them and work together more as a community versus just this entity and then that entity, and kind of get it all going together. Okay, and how do you foresee yourself working with the other people on the council?
Hopefully very well. I'm hoping that once the new council is established, priority number one is replacing our city manager because he is moving on. So we're going to have to get a new city manager in there.
Yep.
But open communication is the key, and being honest with each other. If you can't do that, then we're just going to be fumbling for the next 4 years.
I agree.
So open communication, represent the people, control your spending, and generate revenue.
All right.
Those are all the keys.
All right, well, thanks, Bill. And stay tuned, because coming up next, we'll meet with another Rogers City Council candidate. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sitting here with AJ Chabella, another Rogers City Council candidate. Thank you for joining us, AJ.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and can you talk to me a little bit about why you wanted to run for City Council this year?
I started going to meetings 6-8 months ago and found out there's 2 openings, and I just feel like I have the drive, enthusiasm, and knowledge with some of the different background things that I've done in my short lifespan that I could help the city and help the people of the city do the right thing for them.
Okay, and you said that you're originally from Rogers City, grew up there your whole life, so you must feel really attached to the city.
I do. 30 years I've been gone, college and a couple other things taking me away, but it's my home. I love it, everything about it. It's just a fantastic place to grow up, and it's a fantastic place to live. So.
Well, that's wonderful, and I mean, we all love our homes, right? So that's great that you want to, kind of give back to the community. And what are some of the things that you're looking forward to if elected on the City Council?
If I'm elected, first thing I want to sit down with everybody that's on the council, the mayor, and say, hey, we're a team. We're here for not each other. We're here for the greater good of Rogers City, and make sure we're all on the same page.
Absolutely.
You definitely see that in, not see that in a lot higher levels of government, so especially the city government, we need to start there. And then really just bringing out the fiscal responsibility, justification of spending, I think are 2 major things. I mean, we don't print our own money in the city, so we definitely have to watch what and where we spend and make sure it's justified. And then also having transparency, more or less from the city manager, the city staff, to the council, and onward to the public, so the people understand decisions are made and why they're made, and good nor bad, that there has to be things that happen in the city that people don't like, but there needs to be justification for it. I just want the people of the city to help understand what's going on and why.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's very important, obviously, for citizens to understand the government. And going back a little bit of what you said about, fiscal responsibilities and such, obviously spending is always a problem, especially not so much a problem, but with a small city like Rogers City, there needs to be cutbacks. You're not going to please everybody, but let's talk about the water bill right now. That's a big issue in Rogers City. So where do you stand on that? Do you think that some cuts need to be made, or what do you think the council has to do?
Well, the worst thing about that is 3.5 years ago, $7.5 million bond, give or take a couple $100,000 was taken out. And it's a USDA bond, and there's a repayment schedule that has to be paid back every year, and it keeps going up between the water and sewer. So sadly enough, unless there's more infrastructure brought into Rogers City or more houses are built, there's really nothing that can be done about the cost unless we can go back in time machine and rethink the bond that was taken out. There's a lot of cities in a lot worse position than us. I'm not saying we like paying lots of money for water and sewer, but there's really nothing, unless more things come into Rogers City, that can be done about the cost, because, well, it's a government-backed bond that's, the USDA has this, we have to pay it back. There's
Absolutely.
no defaulting on it, and no saying, oh, we want to change our minds on it. So, we're in 3.5 years. It's not paid back till 2050, so it's a tough road ahead.
Absolutely, and you bring up, bringing people and things into Rogers City. That's one thing that's always a big issue or a big talk. Is building, expanding the city. So, what are some of your ideas for that?
I've said it before. Government doesn't create jobs. Helps create opportunities for entrepreneurs to come in. There has been some positive things in Rogers City the last couple of years, but then also the negative of the rehab center closing. Hopefully something will replace that. As far as bringing more businesses in, I really don't have an answer. Keeping the business we have right now is one of my biggest focuses, taking care of what we have to make sure that they're around in the next couple of years. And then hopefully there has been more people interested in the area, probably due to the cost of living is much less as far as homes, which home values have dropped, but compared to the west side of the state, you can get a lot more house and a lot more living for your dollar in Rogers City compared to Traverse City, Charlevoix, Petoskey area. So, really supporting what we have now is the biggest thing. And, the CDA works right now trying to help bring businesses in, and it's a struggle. You have to have money to a business to open, and
obviously
it's just it's a struggle right now. People don't want to go out there and put their necks on the line. So I really don't have an answer, but keeping around what we have would be my first thing, making sure that people that own business in the city know that we appreciate, that they do pay their taxes, that they do keep up their sidewalks, that do keep up their buildings. It's a beautiful downtown. It's taking hits like everything else, but it still pushes on. And we do have some very popular businesses, especially for people out of town.
That's true.
Plass Meat draws in tons of people. Just one instance. So, letting them know that we appreciate them. That's the biggest thing. If they don't feel appreciated by the city, well, they could easily leave if they wanted to.
That's true. So let's talk a little bit about the citizens and about the business owners and such. How would you like to involve them more? That's always a big thing, and it's crucial for the citizens to be involved in the government. So what would you say about that?
Again, it's a transparency, making sure they know what we're faced with. As a government, there's certain things that even the little cities are mandated to do, and it seems to keep getting harder just from going to 20 city council meetings. There's more and more things you have to do. Sewer plant with the environmental quality is just there's massive amounts of money that has to be put towards that. And it's becoming a strain, but I guess the one thing I can say is we don't have, I've been places where you have to walk through sewer going down the street as you're trying to, buy fresh vegetables. But transparency, letting them know why decisions are made, or bring them in, the business owners. A lot of business owners in Rogers City don't live in Rogers City, so they don't have a vote, sadly enough. And I can think of 10 business owners right now in the downtown that don't live in Rogers City, but bringing them in, because, they are business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they have a lot of different knowledge, background, and before we do major projects, bring them in to have, give their insight, if they're willing to come in,
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, AJ. I appreciate it. And don't move, because our show will continue.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we're in Rogers City. We're going to ask some people on the street what they're looking for in a city council member. Go on. And what are you looking for in this year's election for a city council member or to see in Rogers City?
A younger person with newer ideas and more businesses in town.
Fantastic. What kind of businesses do you hope come to Rogers City?
I think I'd like to have more choices in like buying groceries,
Okay.
better prices, more or less lower prices. That's why I'm going in here. And I don't know. I enjoy the town otherwise. I think just a few more business, women's clothing.
Okay, and what do you think that adding new businesses would do for the city?
I think the citizens would be very pleased about that, and I think they would be happy where they wouldn't have to travel out of town.
I hope to see some new stores in this town.
Just looking for somebody with new ideas, promote jobs, and bring new businesses into the area, because right now we have a lack of industry and unemployment here is really high. We just got to be somebody that's motivated to find different avenues to bring businesses in and provide jobs for the people here. Otherwise, the town's going to be continuing to have a rough time of it, So.
All right, and a lot of people have been talking about job creation and how the high unemployment rate. And what would you like to see? Would you like to see them build more businesses, or what would your suggestion be, so to speak?
Well, obviously, I think the city could provide tax breaks to people that wanted to start businesses here, possibly helping them out that way. I don't know. There's avenues they can promote here. Like we're having a new dialysis clinic open here. When I lived in Mount Pleasant, they had a plasma donation place, which provided many some extra cash for people that were needy, and mostly college students, but people that it was an easy $50 a week for people. So I think something like that would go over really well here, and I don't know why they don't promote that kind of activity here. So. Okay,
and how do you think the council's been doing so far?
I have mixed feelings about it. I think they're generally concerned. I think maybe that some new blood would do the trick. So.
Okay, is that what you're looking for this year?
New blood, yes, sir.
What would you say about Rogers City?
Well, for one thing, I know that they collected all this money for this cinema to be open. Mm-hmm. But do you realize that they shut down this rehab here? This rehab is an excellent place to be.
Okay.
It is.
And you were saying something about restaurants?
Well, I'm just saying, there's one business that opens, you come back to town, and there's another business shut down.
Too much turnover?
Too much turnover. Everybody's working against each other in this community, I know for a fact.
And what do you think that council needs to do to change that?
Well, why wouldn't they open another grocery store here besides Glenn's? Why did they refuse to put Save-A-Lot? Do you know in Posen we're getting Family Dollar? How much this Family Dollar is going to hurt in Rogers City? Because people from Posen ain't going to come here.
All right, and what would you say to the council if you had to tell them something that they really needed to work on for the next year?
They need to work to get that rehab back open. That's what I see. Why would you go open this cinema? You pay $10 to go to a movie when you can rent it off a TV for $4 and have 10 people watching a movie,
And you sound like you're saying that the priorities aren't listed correctly?
Nope.
In your opinion? All right. And how about financially? How do you think the city's doing?
Terrible.
And what do you think they need to do to change that?
I really don't know. I really can't tell you. I worked in a lot of places in Rogers City, but the wages ain't even there. You know, they're not. You're working for minimum wage just like anybody else. You know, it is.
And you said you worked a couple jobs in Rogers City, and do you think it's easy to get jobs around here? Some people have commented on job creation.
I've been looking for a job since April, and I can't find nothing because I'm not qualified for it.
Okay. So definitely more jobs.
Definitely more jobs.
All right. And anything else?
No, I don't want to be.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I think I would like for some people to clean up their yards.
Well, I'm looking for somebody that will kind of watch the budget, you know, a little better and make sure that we aren't going to get hit on too hard with water or whatever, you know.
Okay, and yeah, the water and sewer fund, that's been a big issue. So what do you think? How do you think they've been handling that so far?
So far, so good. It's all right. Maybe a little improvement. But anyhow, but I did work with one of the women that are running and stuff. So I thought, oh yeah, she's going to be good.
Okay.
So.
All right, fantastic. And what do you hope to see?
This was for what? The council or the?
The council.
Oh, the council. Okay, the men then are running. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so
what do you think?
that.
What do you think that? What good attributes do you think that they have that they can bring to Rogers City?
Well, let me see. I think that they're all basically honest men, you know. So I don't think you could really go wrong on any of them. So.
Like you have so.
Nothing at all.
No,
Nothing.
why do you say it has nothing?
Because it doesn't. What do you see? All we have is that grocery store, and that's it. There's no other place. There's nothing.
Do you think there's a lot of jobs here, or?
Oh, no, there ain't no jobs at all.
No? Are you from Rogers City?
I was born and raised here.
All right, you were born and raised here, but you still live here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't live in the city if you paid me for the city either. But no, there is nothing in this town.
So what do you think the city council has to do about that?
Don't. That's where you don't want my opinion. No matter who's gonna go in there. Don't.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And from controversial opinions to, the more regular standard answers, you have it. We've got a lot of opinions here today, and be sure to tune in next week at 11 a.m. for another episode of Insights.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.